Still talking about Pythagorean theorem this week. Says with the following lengths form a right triangle. I know a right triangle, if it does form a right triangle, I'm gonna get that a squared plus b squared, it's equal to c squared. From the three sides, the biggest one is c, the other two are a and b. It doesn't matter which one is a or b. Like, all that matters is that the biggest one is c. So what I'm asking you guys here is 9.1 squared plus 6 squared, is it equal to 10.9 squared? We had to figure that out. So using a calculator, let me find out what 9.1 squared is. And I get 82.81. So 82.81. 6 squared, I know is 36. Using a calculator, 10.9 squared gives me 118.81. I notice that these two numbers here are together, right? Separated with a plus sign. So I can just add them. 82.81 plus 36. I get 118.81. On the other side, I also have 118.81. I notice the two are the same, so I'm going to write yes. Right, is it a right triangle? Yes. If the two numbers at the end were not the same, then I will write no. And once again, this thing is just like a yes or no question. If you notice the first eight questions I'm giving you guys the figures. I'm giving you guys the triangles, which is the figures for the first 8. But then questions 9 through 16, I'm giving you guys the values of a, b, and c. But it's the same thing. I'm asking is a squared plus b squared equals to c squared? Any questions on the front? No? All right. Now looking at the back side, number 17, find each missing length to the nearest tenth. So I'm running to the nearest tenth. That means one decimal place. So I look from my triangle. The side that I'm missing is the biggest, so I'm going to call that C. So since it is a right triangle, I see my right angle there with the 90 degrees represented by a little box. So I'm going to get 7.3 squared plus 11.5 squared. It's equal to C squared. So 7.3 squared, I get 53.29. 11.5 squared, I get 132.25. This is equal to C squared. If my two numbers are together, right, separated with a plus sign, just add it. If my two numbers were separated with an equal sign, then I will move one to the other side, and I will change the sign. But in this case, since they're together, I'm just going to add them. Plus 53.29 plus 132.25. I get 185.54. 185.54 is C squared. Since I want to know what C is, let me get the square root on each side. Because I know the square root of C squared is C. That's how I get the value of C. The square root of my 185.54, I get, looking at my decimals, I get 13.62. So I'm going to call that 13.6. Once again, I'm rounding it to one decimal place, but I did take a look at the second decimal place. It was a 2. Because a 2 is small enough, I'm not going to change the 6. If it was 5 or more, I would have changed it to 13.7. Right, don't forget to round it to one decimal place. But do take a look at the second decimal place. So on the back, 17 through 24, I'm giving you guys the figures. You guys have to figure out if it's A, B, or C what you're missing. But then questions 25 through 31, I'm giving you guys the values. Right, A, B, C. Any questions up until 31? Now, now, so no questions up to 31. No? Okay. Which one? 20. All right, so looking at number 20, I have the big side, so the side that I'm missing, let me call it A. All right, in this case, it's A or B. It doesn't matter which way you call it. So in my case, let me call it A. So let me write A squared plus 1.2 squared equals 4.5 squared. So I'm going to write A squared plus 1.44. 1.2 squared gave me 1.44. 4.5 squared gives me 20.25. When my numbers are separated with an equal sign, right, if they were with a plus, I would just add them. When they're separated with an equal sign, move 1 from one side to the other. So my 1.44, I'm going to move it to the other side. Don't forget to switch the sign. Menu. Pay attention up here. So I'm going to get that A squared is equal to 20.25 minus 1.44. So I get 18.81. Once again, the signs were separated with an equal sign. So move 1 from one side to the other. Don't forget to switch the sign. So now let me get the square root on each side. Because I know the square root of A squared is A. The square root of 18.81 is 4.3. So A is 4.3. Remember, one thing you guys can check your work. You guys know the C is the biggest. So 4.5. That means my answer cannot be more than 4.5. 4.3 makes sense. Right? If I had gotten something like 7, something more than 4.5, you know it's wrong. Right? C is the biggest. So any questions up until 31? Now on 32, I just wrote down the formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared, just to remind you guys what the formula is. Don't have to work it. Like, you don't have to solve 32. I just added the formula there. So like, it's not a question for you to solve. It's for you to have the formula. That's all it is. Right. Any questions? Let me take roll really quick.